ICENRT. Dynasties live here.
Back live at Northlands Coliseum, but let's go to Boston and get an NHL update on the other series, Islanders-Boston. And the first goal of the night to Bob Bourne, who controls the puck, and Bourne sets it up perfectly for Brent Sutter. That gives the Islanders a 1-0 lead. Now into the second period, the Isles take a 2-0 lead. The shot from Thomas Janssen, it deflects in off Pete Peters. 2-0 Islanders in the second period. We'll keep you posted. Now for the Canadian national anthem, Paul Lorio.
Immediately, there is a good indication of what is going to happen. Forecheck, make contact. Now another Stanley Cup update, and here is John Wells.
Once more to the Boston Garden, the Stanley Cup update. And here's Mike Bossy. The Bruins a little weary in game one of the series. Bossy beating Peters cleanly there. And Bob Bourne and the Sutter brothers extremely effective tonight this time. Bourne setting up Daryl Sutter, and it's 4-0 Islanders in the second.
Indoor and outdoor paints, because only the strong survive.
At the Boston Garden, the Islanders in the dark blue uniforms are leading the Bruins 4-0 in the third period of the first game of their Wales Conference Final. Hockey Night in Canada, keeping you posted on the game. And don't forget another Stanley Cup update now, and here is John Wells.
A little happier crowd in the Boston Garden right now as the Bruins are finally on the scoreboard. Mike Gillis is set up for Barry Peterson out in front. He just deflects it through the legs of Billy Smith. It's now 4-1 Islanders in the third.
And the Oilers will be penalized. The Hawks will go on the power play. And as Wally Harris hands out this penalty, let's have another Stanley Cup update with John Wells.
17 seconds after Peterson, a brilliant play by Ray Bourque, who goes in all alone and takes Smith with him on the first move as the Bruins come back to life. It's now 4-2, Islanders leading in the third.
The new Ford Bronco 2 at Ford and Mercury dealers.
All kinds of great action, both ends of the rink. Second night in a row, the Hawks have the first goal, and the Oilers have the first period lead. It's 4-2 after one. Now we take you to the Boston Garden, the Stanley Cup update action. Islanders a great start, but the Bruins on their way back. We take you there now live with the Islanders leading 4-2.
A little pushing match after that last offside. We welcome the Hockey Night in Canada audience to our Boston Garden USA network telecast. We're here with 8 minutes, 16 seconds left in the game. It is the Boston Bruins 2, the Islanders 4. It was 4-0 Islanders, but 2 goals in 17 seconds in the third period by Barry Peterson and Ray Bourque have narrowed the score to 4-2. I'm Dan Kelly, Gary Green's alongside, and what looked like an easy game for the Islanders, Gary, has now turned into quite a third period.
The Bruins have showed a lot of character and class. They came from a 2-0 deficit to beat the Buffalo Sabres in the 7th game. Who knows what they may do yet in this building tonight.
The Islander goals have been scored by Brent Sutter, Thomas Janssen, Mike Bossy, and Wayne Sutter. Here are the Islanders clearing it in, but Mike O'Connell leads a 3-on-2 Bruin break to Middleton. Back to O'Connell, and Gord Lane broke it up. Hotka now clearing it. Here's the centering pass to Middleton. Kluzak had the puck bounce outside the line on him, and when he shot it back in, the play is whistled down on an offside. The number 1 draft choice of the Bruins, Kluzak, who's come into his own here in the playoffs.
He's had to come from off the bench where he's been for a lot of the season. Didn't get a lot of ice time. To replace Hillier and Milbury, who are both out of the lineup. Kenny Morrow, as we've talked about in the second period, in the first period, very steady defenseman for the New York Islanders.
Brian's Trache ready on this face-off against Tom Fergus. Bruce Crowder kicks it back to Ray Bourque, and Bourque flips it into the Islanders' zone. This is Ken Morrow. Fergus into forecheck. Now Luke Dufour in to help out. Drops it to Brad Park. Shoots one, and Smith. A glove save on Park's rocket from the right point.
You notice when that puck goes back to the blue line to Park, the Islander defense, they really tried to give him a clear shot of things. You notice Janssen just off to the right of our screen. They're clearing the Bruins' bodies out best they can to give Billy Smith a good sight line on that puck.
There you see the second-year Bruins center Tom Fergus talking things over with the linesman, Bob Hodges. The Bruins get the draw. Bork at the point. His shot blocked. Now Bork centered one, and Thomas Janssen cleared it. Bruce Crowder gets it, and Trottier feeds to Mike Bossy. Bossy to Thomas Janssen, number 3. Janssen into Trottier. A shot. Peters the save. Rebound. Bossy put it in front, but Bruce Crowder broke it up, and the Bruins come back. Bruce Crowder's high shot, gloved by Billy Smith. Now Bourne behind the goal. The Bruins steal it. Out to Fergus. That shot off Thomas Janssen and over the glass and into the crowd. And the faceoff will be in the Islander zone with 7:04 left in regulation time.
Some good end-to-end action here. Pete Peters, he's had a lot of work on him tonight. Watches Trottier. He comes up with the initial drive, but that loose puck laying right there on the doorstep. Bobby tried to get it, wasn't successful. Pete Peters, I think he's tiring a little bit, Dan. He's starting to give up a few more rebounds, something he gave none of during the first and second period.
Peterson with Gillis and Middleton on the wings. We mentioned earlier, Jerry Cheevers has broken up his big line here in the third period and has Gillis out replacing Krushelnyski on the left side. Trottier and Peterson ready for the face-off. Trottier's tossed out. The Islanders, as Al Arbour usually does for a face-off in his end, has another center on the ice, so Butch Goring steps in. Peterson wins the draw to Middleton. Rick Middleton, number 16. Clearing it around on the board. Now Middleton checks Trottier. Middleton to Mike Gillis. He gets it in front. Peterson fanned on it. And now Goring comes up with the puck. The Islanders have a 3-on-2 break. Goring to Dennis Potvin with a shot off the glass. Lord Lane held it in. Now Kluzak gets it for the Bruins. To Gillis. Shot to center. Lane knocks that down. Peterson couldn't clear it in, and back comes Bob Nystrom for New York. Kluzak tying Nystrom up. Gillis and Tonelli fight for it. Now Nystrom for New York. Checked by Kluzak, able to center it, but Peter McNabb is there for the Bruins. To Mike O'Connell. Morrow tying him up. Now a loose puck on the boards. Nystrom to Tonelli, but Kluzak intercepts. Headmanning it to Keith Crowder. But intercepting it was Janssen, who shoots it right back in. Here's Keith Crowder. Over to Krushelnyski. To Keith Crowder. Brent Sutter ties him up, and Bob Nystrom, number 23 for New York. Less than 6 minutes to play in regulation time as the Islanders dump it in. The Islanders are leading 4-2. Here's Ray Bork, number 7. Smith makes the save.
Great action in Boston. We'll keep you posted as to the outcome of that game. More goals from Boston as they occur. Next, the Smythe Trophy winners. We remember Bobby Orr's first playoff award. We'll return with the Stanley Cup playoffs in just a moment.
And now let's bring in John Wells.
Jim, a little more insurance for the Islanders in Boston. Bob Bourne, a great night all the way around. Here he steals the puck from the Bruins near his own blue line, skates in all alone, and watch the shot, the second one of the night that trickles in off Peters. That gives the Isles a 5-2 lead, 17-27, third period.
You know, Bob Bourne is on a breakaway. There's not many people that are going to catch him from behind.
They cheered that one in Kindersley, Saskatchewan, his hometown, and what a great playoff Bourne is having. One of the fine skaters in the game.
It's a new ball game. Cooper, gloves so soft, they're ready to play ball when you are.
They're now late in the game at the Boston Garden. Less than 2 minutes to play. The Islanders lead 5-2 as you're seeing live action from Boston. Hockey Night in Canada, keeping you posted on that game. And, of course, this one here in Edmonton tonight. And don't forget, Thursday, you'll see Game 2 of the Islanders Bruins. And on the weekend, you'll see Game 3 of their series and Game 3 of this series. A lot of great hockey this week. So there's less than a minute left in that game as the play is in the Islanders zone. See Fergus pinned along the boards, and now the live action here in Edmonton at Northlands Coliseum, the usual sellout crowd. Fogelin blocks the pass. Fraser battling for the puck with Fogelin falling, and he covers up the puck. Now let's get to some Stanley Cup upstate action from the Boston Garden. There's just a few seconds left in the game. The Islanders are leading 5-2. Potvin controls the puck like he's done much of the night. Tonelli, what a hard worker he is with a shot right on Peters in the dying seconds of the game. That should be a great series, Gary.
And Billy Smith, the goaltender of the Islanders, who always seems to come up big come playoff time, as the Islanders win 5-2 in the opener.
And here it's Edmonton 4, Chicago 2. 4 minutes, 27 seconds gone in the second period.
The Oilers lead the Hawks 4-2, shots on goal 9-5 in favor of the Oilers. In Boston tonight, the Islanders built up a 4-0 lead on the Bruins and then coasted home to a 5-2 victory in Game 1 of that Wales Conference Final. Now, a final word from the Boston Gardens, Dan Kelly and Gary Green.
The Islanders, meanwhile, aside from a poor start in the third period, played an excellent hockey game for the most part.
That they did. And, you know, I think it's going to happen to any team, Dan, especially in playoffs. When you've got a 4-0 lead, there tends to be a little bit of complacency in the third period. You don't mean to do it. In fact, coming into the third period, you know, I know Al Arbour was saying you've got to do the opposite. You got to come back out. You got to forecheck hard. Just make sure defensively that we don't get caught on those short situations. But it never fails. You know, just emotionally, you're not as high. You think you've won the hockey game. And as a result, you see a team like the Bruins come back a couple of goals. 4 goals, that's just a little bit too much up the ladder to be able to climb, though.
Meanwhile, they cut the lead to 4-2, and then Brad Park clanged one off the goalpost, and he scored there. Who knows what might have happened?
Well, I guess Brad Park used them all up the other night when he scored the overtime goal, Dan, but he played an excellent game tonight as well. And you've got to really give this guy a lot of credit, because they say he's playing on one leg, on 1.5 leg. We know one thing for sure. He hasn't got 2 healthy legs out there to play on, but yet he continues to give it all. And as you say, he rang that one right off the post. Could have been the difference in the hockey game.
Meanwhile, another key factor, Billy Smith, the Islander goaltender, made some key saves throughout the game. Here's one he made against Brent Peterson.
Well, Billy Smith, the money goaltender, I think early in that first and second period, when the Bruins did have a chance, as they did on this one, Brent Peterson, he just robbed them on that particular one. Peterson with the puck, coming right in on his forehand side. I think Peterson thought for sure that puck was going to go in the net, but Billy Smith, he's got all the confidence in the world, and I'm just sure that he was just chuckling to himself and to the Bruins after that one. Robbed you again.
My apologies to Barry Peterson. We said Brent, I meant Barry, and of course, he's up with Rick Middleton as the 1-2 scorer on this Boston club in the playoffs. What do you look forward to in Game 2? A better start by the Bruins would be the key factor?
More pressure on them now, and I think, again, the emotional strain that they went through in that last series, and now knowing that they are 1 game down, and yet they have home ice advantage, and so they not only have to win the next game, they've got to win a game back in the island in order to maintain that home ice advantage. So I expect them to come out with a little bit more energy, I guess you would say, in this next game Thursday night. But again, they are faced against one heck of a hockey team.
Thank you very much. A reminder, Game 2 in that Wales Conference Final is Thursday on Hockey Night in Canada, 7:30 Eastern Time. Next, the Hockey Legends features Yvonne Cornwallier. Hockey Night in Canada continues. Stay with us for Stanley Cup action throughout the playoffs. Thursday, we move to Boston for Game 2 in the Wales Conference Final between the Bruins and the defending champion New York Islanders. Be with us here on Hockey Night in Canada as we follow the final 4 teams all the way to the Stanley Cup. Thursday, Bossy and the Islanders, Middleton and the Bruins, live on Hockey Night in Canada from Boston.
ICENRT. Dynasties live here.